So the Bomb Blitz Bomb Tier 5 just got another round of buffs, and this tower just keeps getting better. So what's been happening lately is that Ninja Kiwi is just buffing this tower. They kind of tried switching it around. So the first change that happened was a few updates ago where I think they removed damage and they made it a little bit cheaper, but they added attack speed. And then the update after that, they gave almost all of the damage that they took back. So now in the latest update, what is happening with this tower is just more straight up buffs. There are no nerfs happening to this tower, and it goes something like this. So first off, the extra range upgrade just straight up gives more range, which is always nice to have. And while talking about the extra range, let me just buy it. And this is definitely a lot more range than it used to give. And now with the frags, which we can actually buy, so I'm gonna buy it right now, and I'm gonna tell you what the frags do now. The frags' damage and pierce is now uncapped. So the way that I'm reading that is that they can now get alg buffed, and I think that is just gonna be insane for a tower like the frags, because I think that this is gonna carry over to the other tiers, like for example the recursive clusters and the cluster bombs and everything like that. And this just straight up means that if you get +1 damage from the alchemist and like +3 pierce, that thing is just gonna straight up get carried over to not only the frags which we have equipped right now, which is the 002, but it's gonna get carried over to the clusters and the secondary and the tertiary clusters, which is just gonna make this tower do a whole lot of damage. And if that wasn't enough, this tower is again getting cheaper. So the tier 5 went from $28,000 to $25,500. So that's just a straight up $2,500 haircut. So that being said, let's try and god boost this tower. The frags are more responsive to alg buffs. We are gonna get Striker Jones, which we already have placed. And wait a minute, are we even dealing with this round? It's round 19. Let me use the level 3 ability, but no, it seems like these guys are gonna leak. Okay, let's do something about this then. Okay, yeah, this is a very annoying map. So let me get an NG like this. So when are we buying only towers that we're gonna be using later on? So I think that this like is gonna be an overclock NG in a second. So let's just place it like this. It's attacking our straight lines. I think it should be fine. Let me just watch the level 3. Wait, what is even happening? Oh my god, it was just RNG. We didn't even need the NG. This guy has like 0 pops, or maybe. Yeah, never mind, we didn't even need it. We just got level 5, so that's really good because we're probably gonna be able to pop these guys, all of them I hope. Yeah, there we go, and it's only the white balloons now, and I hope we take care of them. We don't have any camo detection by the way, so ability, yes, that was very good. So you know what, let's actually buy, let's just buy some upgrades. Let me just get like the missile, get some extra attack speed so that at least we can do a little bit more damage to these upcoming rounds. So where do we expect to see these new changes happening? Well, on a round like this, honestly, because we're gonna have some rainbows, and now because the frags can get buffed with extra damage and extra pierce, when these rainbows, and actually on 36 as well, when all of those guys, the huge waves of pink balloons appear, the frags are gonna be a lot stronger versus them, right? So yeah, look at this thing, it is actually cleaning them by itself. It's just like a 022 bomb that's doing all this damage. But how are we doing versus these pink balloons? Yeah, definitely look at this thing. So the frags, they should be doing 2 damage a pop now, which is I guess a lot more than well, it's only 1 damage that they used to do, but again, this 2 damage is not, because when you take into account the pierce, extra pierce that they get from the alchemist, it's really not a small deal. Okay, so now this round is really important because we are gonna have our last upgrade before the Moab appears, because these guys are not gonna rotate anytime. So we can get the clusters, but the question is, can we get the recursive? Because if we can get the recursive, we're just probably guaranteed to beat the Moab. So let me just watch the cash on this round, and there we go, we bought it. Alright, so round 40 coming out in a second. This should not be a problem for it, especially because we have the Miller Crosspat, and this Miller Crosspat is a little bit better versus Moab class balloons than the top one. So I don't think that this should be a problem, and especially with the extra damage on the frags, these guys, oh my lord, they just disappeared. That was the entire wave of ceramics, guys. Why is this tower hitting so hard nowadays? I have no idea. Okay, was it always this good? I don't know, because I know that it was changed, and they were like really improving it throughout the, I guess, the updates, but this thing is just hitting a little bit harder than usual, I feel like, and that might be due to these new buffs actually in the frags. Probably have to go for the Milk Crosspat because it's probably better with all of these buffs and everything like that. And I really love it about this tower that it can just hold its own. So if you're playing a single track map, like this thing is probably your go-to strategy that's gonna beat almost all of them. So let's watch 46 for example. 45 ceramics, not even an issue. I didn't even think that it was gonna be an issue, but let's just watch 46 and then 47 with the small ceramics. Yeah, these guys are not making it like past this first bend where my mouse is. Like, it's just attacking so fast and it's just destroying everything. And then just take a look at the new price on the Bomb Blitz, $27,500. That is ridiculously cheap. And when I say ridiculously cheap, I mean we're gonna have this thing in like the next few rounds where we're in the 50s, and this thing is defending by itself. I don't think that the map length matters that much, because once we got the 024 going, like nothing has even made it past like this first bend, and maybe like up here to where the glass panel ends. Like that's probably the farthest that I've seen balloons go. I don't know guys, I really hope that you use this tower as well, because this this is such an amazing tower. It's so good and it's so strong, but I don't think we're barely gonna miss this window, are we? Because it's gonna close. We have 26.5 and it's 27.5. Oh my god, $700 away. Okay, so we missed it by only $700, so that means that we're gonna have to wait into the 60s before we can buy the Bomb Blitz. There we go. We have the money for a Bomb Blitz. We've actually had it for a while because this thing is 27.5 and we're at 32.5, so yeah, but because of these glass panels closing in. But there we go. We get the Bomb Blitz, and one of the benefits to the Bomb Blitz, by the way, is that all these tertiary explosions, so the clusters, the recursive clusters, happen on every single shot, right? So if this frag buffing thingy, if it goes onto the, I know it probably goes to the secondary clusters, right? But if it goes to the tertiary clusters as well, this is just taking the tower to new levels. Like I'm really just, that was by the way the first round of 63. If you guys saw that, if not, let me just try to slow it down so that you see how fast this thing evaporates. So it should appear any second now. Yeah, there we go. That's the second wave of ceramics, and that is gone. Alright, so I know I said I was gonna buy an overclock, but I don't think I'm gonna keep that promise. At least not yet. The overclock is like a super cheap way to get a lot of extra DPS, but the buff that we got was the buff to the frags, and their damage appears getting uncapped. And the way that you make full use of that is by buying the call to arms in the homeland. So let's go for the call to arms in homeland. Let's guarantee those purchases first, and then if we have some money left over, we're gonna get the overclock NG. And I also want to be buying the glue storm actually, because it amplifies the damage in the Bloons TD, and that's just such a nice tower to combo with this thing. So we have so many things to buy, and I really cannot wait for free play because this thing does not seem to be budging pre-free play actually. Okay, so just watch all these BFBs to round 77, and then I will show you guys. Let me just see if we can get the money for, yeah, there we go. We bought the call to arms, but this was just like a couple of BFBs behind each other around 77, and this is a bunch of BFBs behind each other around 81, and it is almost exactly the same thing. Almost, not exactly, but you can see that these guys are making it a little bit further. But come on guys, this thing is owning them. Let's watch a couple of 45 BFBs on 82, so they're gonna go behind these normal ones. Yeah, look at this thing. So the ceramics are actually the ones that are leaking, which is kind of expected, but we can improve the consistency by doing two things. Number one is by getting an overclock, and number two is just by using some abilities, right? For example, the call to arms, but let's chill on that for now. All right, so we get the money for the homeland, so let's buy it, and this is the tower that I was looking for. This is what we need, guys. Okay, so we have some 45 mobs incoming. Do is the stun ability on this thing? Is it gonna be able to handle them? I hope it is. Let me just not click anything. These guys are making it pretty far. Are we? Oh no, wait a minute. That's a full ceramic. Are we even dealing with that guy? Can we stop it somehow? Like maybe an ice tower at the back? Oh no, never mind. The Caltrops defended it. But yeah, oh my god, that was a little bit scary. Maybe it's time for the abilities. Let's use the homeland for the first time. This is where the tower is gonna go ham. So these guys are gonna disappear for sure. And our DTs, we know for a fact that are gonna be a little bit of an issue just because of how fast they are, right? So it's only like 3 DTs on this one, so this shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, those guys upcoming, they are definitely gonna be a problem. And also want to be buying some support towers because you don't exactly play BT6 like this. Like you don't just, you know, buy some DPS towers and let them do their thing and just, you know, leave them to hold on for as long as they can. Like you buy some towers to support. So in the spirit of supporting them, I guess let's just use the homeland ability. Let's just get these 45 mobs over. We're gonna have some ZOGs at the back. Now I know it's only round 93, but this round can actually tell us a lot about how we're sitting with 45 balloons and DDTs. So the 45s, we know that we have a problem with them, especially the small ones. Like the big ones are getting popped. But look at this thing, we're having a DDT problem. These guys are fully leaking. Like that was a full DDT almost that leaked. Okay, so let's go like this. Let me use the homeland. I want to use it a little bit earlier, so that I know that the homeland is going to help this thing defend these guys, but I want to use it a little bit earlier so we get it for 94. And I guess 94 is one of those free rounds because there are no 45 balloons on this one, so I think that the Bomb Blitz by itself is going to be able to defend it, but I think it's time for us to use the homeland. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use the homeland onto these UMGs, so things are getting, yeah, things are definitely getting a little bit closer, guys. Let's get the overclock, and this is going to be around 95. I actually don't think that we maybe should have used the homeland a little bit earlier on the previous round because I don't think it's coming off. Oh, wait a minute. Does the overclock work on a tower that is blocked? Let me just click. Okay, so I think that, so you get the option of clicking on it, but can you actually use it like so for the DTs? No, I cannot use it. No, you cannot overclock them. You only get the option. Oh my god, that's so ridiculous. No, I didn't know that. Oh my god, we have a huge problem. So I bought the Sabo and we used the homeland a little bit late on 94, so I'm not exactly sure it's gonna come off. Yeah, it's not coming off cooldown. Okay, so let's just try and survive. And the Sabo did buy us enough time so we can have the homeland, but now I'm trying to greed out a little bit, guys. I don't want to use the homeland actually. I want to save it for the next one. And is that a good idea? No, that's not a good idea. We should use it right now. Okay, so let's use the homeland. Let's get this round over. We know for a fact that we're going to deal with this round, but 96 is where the trouble is starting for us. Okay, so we might have a little bit of an issue. All our abilities are on cooldown and we have some 45 balloons. So I'm going to use Striker Jones's level 10 ability, which when he reaches level 20, it gives double damage to all bombs, which includes the Bomb Blitz. And this is actually really nice because this tower just goes ham. But the problem with this ability is two things. Number one is it lasts for a very short amount of time, and number 2 is that it has a ridiculously long cooldown. Like, just take a look at the cooldown, and fast forwarding, by the way, this is 3x speed, and this cooldown is just not going, guys. It's just staying where it was. And now the other problem is just all of these guys, all these beefy balloons. So let me use the Sabo and let's just try and defeat this thing with the level 3 Striker Jones ability. We are hopefully gonna get the Sabo for 98, but we need to defeat this one as well. So I think that's gonna be 96. There we go, round 98, and the window closed on us, so we cannot interact with any of these towers at the bottom, and we're gonna have a bunch of 45 balloons. So let me just start this thing off by using all of our abilities as soon as possible so that we get at least some of them for round 99. Let's just get this thing going very slowly on the road. So ideally you want to deal with this round very slowly. You want to be popping the 45 balloons actually first, and then the ZOMGs, and I think that there's a way for this to happen because the Bomb Blitz is not exactly good versus big balloons, but we need to keep these guys stunned and in place with the level 3 Striker Jones ability and the Relentless Glue, and so far so good. I don't want to jinx it, we do have all abilities, but I'm just trying to kind of test the waters. So let's try to see how far we're going to go with only using the level 3 Striker Jones ability, and honestly most of the 45 balloons are done, so this is like not even bad that it's currently happening. So I think the majority of the 45 balloons are done, and we do have the Sabo, so I'm just kind of trying to save the Sabo actually for the next one. So I'm using the ability, and the ZOMGs are, I'm not sure if all of them are intact, but a good portion of them are. So far so good, guys. This is actually ridiculous how good this round is going. I only see 2 ZOMGs. These guys are popping very slowly, and I think I don't want to say that we have this thing because the ZOMGs just popped, but this is going so well. It's going actually ridiculously well. Oh my god, we defended the entire round by just using the level 3 Striker Jones ability. That's probably the best case scenario, because what we can do for this one is we can just use the Sabo and then probably use what? Let's try and get away with only the level 3 Striker Jones ability as well, and we save the level 10 and the homeland for round 100, and there we go. And now the big boy. Let's use both of these guys together, both the level 10, actually it's the level 20 Striker Jones ability and the homeland, and I really wish I could click onto this guy just so I can see his pops. But yeah, the damage, like, it's really trying. You guys can see the explosions, all these small explosions just going to town onto the bad balloon, but it just has a problem, and the problem is that it's just really not doing well versus bad balloons, and the bad balloon is out of range. We did a decent amount of damage to it, to be fair, but we are just gonna need to just do something else to get some extra damage going on screen. I think I have an idea. What if we went for a glue storm? How much of a difference is a glue storm gonna make? So all these clusters are gonna get increased damage, so let's just wait for a second for the glue storm to come off cooldown, and let's use all of these guys together like the same time, and let's see how much of a difference this is gonna make. I think it is gonna make a difference, but I'm not sure how much. Like, is the bad layer gonna pop? Oh, actually the bad layer popped. Okay, that's very good. We're making some progress actually. Yeah, this is not gonna work. This thing just sucks versus bad balloons. It does not have the damage, so let me just fix this thing by using this, just the spike storms. Let's use both of these abilities, so the bad balloons should pop pretty early actually in comparison to last time, and there we go. That's a decent spot actually for the pop. The DTs are gone instantly, obviously, with all these abilities active, and there we go. We defeated Chimps mode, but let's actually go into Freeplay and see how far this thing can go. So keep in mind, this is still a tier 5 tower that costs $27,500, so this is not supposed to be, you know, doing wonders, but it is actually getting a decent amount of buffs. Okay, so let's actually play this thing round by round. So we have some DDTs. Let me slow down the DDTs with the Bloon Sabo, and let me just be ready with these spike storms, because I feel like the spike storms are gonna be, you know, the ones that are gonna be defeating the DDTs at least, because they're just simply too fast for it now. And yeah, there we go. It's still not enough. Okay, let me use the homeland then, because these DDTs are still coming out, and we're gonna need to take a break from DDTs actually so we can get the abilities back. Is that gonna happen anytime soon? I'm using the stun ability. We're gonna have the level 20 as well. No, these guys are 45. I should use the level 20 as well, guys, right? Let's just use it. Let's just get this round over with. Let's stun these guys, and there we go, round 103. Like, we know this thing is bad versus bad balloons, but it's like 45 ZMGs are not far off of that, especially when these guys are ramping up their HP. So I think the spike storms are still gonna have to go to town. So let me use one of these guys at least to just keep these balloons stunned. And the homeland just came off cooldown, so is the homeland gonna allow us to defeat this thing? I am not exactly sure, guys. There's so many 45 balloons, it might as well just be enough. I think it might as well just be, just for this round, because 106 might defeat us because it's a bunch of DDs. And look at this thing go. It's round 104. So do we have what it takes for 104? I'm not exactly sure. Let me buy the glue strike, and I'm just using these abilities as they come off cooldown. So let's just keep using the stun and everything, and we're gonna have some spike storms incoming. So I'm gonna use the spike storm. We're gonna have the glue strike in a second, so let's use it. And these 45s, they're really not friendly to us, guys. We are just struggling so much versus 45 balloons. It's actually crazy. Is this gonna be the last round for us? I think it is. So yeah, Bomb Blitz, a solid tower. It just keeps getting better. The save up is really nice. It's really, you know, kind of easy to get into a tower, and I really hope you guys give it a shot if you haven't. But that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.